Oh, okay, and let's get started. So hello, everybody, and welcome to the Google Drive Basics class with the Central Park Library. I'm John, and I'm an employee with the Technology Center here at the library, and today we're going to be going over everything you need to know to get started using Google Drive. And the reason we're covering Google Drive is just because it's a free and popular cloud service. We're not affiliated with Google, but this is just a great service that has a lot of useful features. Uh, just letting you know, this is going to be a 35-minute program. We'll have time for questions and answers after each of the 3 parts that I'm going to show you. So you can use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen to type out a question, and we'll answer it when we get to those sections in the presentation. And if we run out of any time and you have any other questions, you can come to the Technology Center in the library during any of our open hours, and we'll be able to help you through any questions you have right there. Right. So welcome to the Google Drive Basics class. We're going to be going over everything you need to know to get started using Google Drive. But before we get into like a step-by-step walkthrough of how to use it, let's take a moment to talk about what Google Drive is. So to put it simply, Google Drive is a website where you can save your files by uploading them to the website, and then later access those files from any device by going back to the website. Google Drive also has features that let you create and edit documents like Word documents or spreadsheets. But today we're just going to be focusing on saving and accessing your files using Google Drive. And the way that works is the first thing you do is go to Google Drive's website and upload your files there. That'll save them onto your Google Drive account. And this is good for important documents and photos, because once you save your files there, they'll be accessible from any device as long as you have an internet connection. Once you upload a file, all you got to do is go to Google Drive's website and you'll see that file that you've uploaded. This is really useful because it means even if you lose the device that you had some files saved on or it gets broken, the files that you've uploaded to your Google Drive are still going to be saved there and you won't lose them even if you lose a device. So those are all useful things that you can do with Google Drive. And today we're going to be showing you how to do that. So the first thing we're going to be going over is how to upload a file to Google Drive. That's what saves it onto your Google Drive account. The second step is going to be downloading files from Google Drive onto your computer. And this could be a different computer than the one that you uploaded them with. So that's how it can be useful to like transfer files to a different device. And the third way that you can use Google Drive is by sharing files with other people. Google Drive lets you create a link to that file, and you can send that link to other people, and they can view that same file. So for this class, we're going to be walking you through how to do each of these 3 things, and I'll show you how to do this on a Windows 10 computer using the Google Chrome browser. You can use Google Drive on any device. It can be a Mac, a Windows PC, or it could even be a phone like an Android or an iPhone. And you can do all of the same things. It just might look a little different if you're using a different device. But with that said, let's get started. We have a provided file for you to practice with. So what you can do is go to this URL in your browser or click on the link that we're going to be sharing in the chat, and it'll automatically download a demo file for you. It was the little blurb that you saw at the beginning of the presentation. And this is the file that we can use to practice saving a file onto your Google Drive account. So if you'd like to follow along, I encourage you to go to this URL and just download that file. So that way, for the rest of the presentation, you can use it to follow along with the walkthrough that I show you. And something that's useful about this file is in it, it'll have a link to this very presentation that you're seeing. So if you ever forget a step in the future and want to come back and reference this, you can go to your Google Drive and open the file from there to view anything that you might have missed or forgotten about. All right, so if all of you have gotten that downloaded, we can get started using Google Drive. And before we can do anything else, we're going to need to log in. So to do that, first thing you want to do is navigate to this URL, drive.google.com in your browser. If you haven't already, there'll be a button like this one down here that says Go to Drive, and you'll click that and log in with your Google account. So give you a few minutes to do that. And once you get into your Google account, you will see a page that looks a little bit like this. Give me one moment. If it's the first time you're logging into Google Drive, your page should look pretty much exactly like this. Okay. All right, so all of you following along have gotten there. We can move on to the first thing that I'll show you how to do, and that's going to be uploading files. So uploading files is how you can save them onto your Google Drive. And to access your files later, this is the first thing you'll have to do. The first step for uploading files is once you're in that screen that I showed you a second ago, there'll be a button in the top left of your screen that says New. You can click on that button, and from the drop-down menu, you can see the file upload option. You want to click on that, and that will allow you to start uploading a file. And if you're struggling to follow this, as I'm doing the presentation, I'm also going to do a live demo of each of these steps right afterwards, and then there'll be time for questions. So we'll help you through that if there's any troubles you might be having. All right, so after you've clicked the file upload option, you'll see a new window, and you'll be able to choose files. If you've downloaded that demo file from earlier, you can go to your downloads folder, and you should see it right at the top. You can click once on the Google Drive Basics demo file, and then click on Open. And after you've selected the file and clicked on Open, it'll be saved onto your Google Drive. So I'll show you how to do that right now. First thing I'm going to do is download this demo file by pasting it into my browser. And you can see at the bottom of my screen, I have the Google Drive Basics.pdf, so I know it's been downloaded. And then I'm going to come onto my Google Drive, click this New button in the top left corner, and select the File Upload option. So that was after clicking New, I went to File Upload, and I'm just going to click right here again, and we'll see this new window here. So once I'm here, I just downloaded this full file, so I'm going to go to my Downloads folder, and I see it right at the top here. So I'll click on this. I clicked on it once to select it, and then I'll click on Open. When I do that, we see it appear right here in our Google Drive. So now that we've uploaded this file, it's been saved onto my drive, and anytime I come back to my Google Drive account, I'll see this file right here. All right, why don't we have everyone use the raise your hand feature in Zoom to show that you've gotten to this step and you're ready to move on. And if you have any questions, now we're going to use the, we have time to go over some question and answers. If you have anything, any questions, you can type on the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. Okay, so it seems like we're all getting the hang of this one. I'll move on to the second step and we can continue from there. All right, so once you've uploaded a file, now you can view it in your Google Drive, but let's say you wanted to save it back onto your computer. That's where downloading files from Google Drive comes in. So this one, when you download a file, that'll save it onto the computer that you're using right then. And like I mentioned earlier, this can be a different computer than what you use to upload a file. So you could use this to transfer files across devices, or say download it just to save it onto your device to be able to access it even if you don't have an internet connection. So the first step for downloading files is first to just find it on your Google Drive. And then you want to right click on that file, right on the file name. And from the menu that shows up, you'll click on the download button. And it's just as simple as that. After you click on download, it'll be saved onto your computer. If you're using Google Chrome, you'll see a little pop-up in the bottom left of your screen that looks like this. That's how you know it's been downloaded. If you're using a different browser, like say Microsoft Edge or Firefox, the notification that you've downloaded something will be in a different spot, usually the top right of your screen for those browsers. But whatever browser you're using, after you right-clicked on it, right here, and selected the download option, that will save it onto your device. And again, I'll show you how to do this right now. So to download the file, first thing you have to do is find it in your Google Drive. And we're going to practice downloading this one right here. So we're all set on that. And then I'll just right click on the file that I want to download and come down to this download option. And once I click that, like I said, you'll see it pop up in the bottom of your screen, or maybe in the top of your screen, depending on the browser you're using. And it'll be right here. So I can open this file to view what's inside of it. And like I said, this is just a short description of the class along with a link to the presentation if you ever need that for your future reference. And again, once you get there, let's have a show of hands to see who's ready to move on, so we can gauge where people are at. And if you have any questions, you can use the Q&A feature with Zoom. I see a question. Will the video be accessible after tonight? Yes, we'll provide the link on our website after the class is over. Paul, do you want to let them know where they can find the link on our website?
Yes. So what I will do is we have the email address that you provided us with when you registered for the Zoom class. So I will send an email out to all attendees with a link to the presentation. And also, you'll be able to see where you can find it on the library website if you need to reference it in the future.
All right, yeah, great. So yeah, you'll be sent a link with the email that you used to register. And I see some hands, so it looks like we're about ready to move on. So we'll get back to this and then get started with the third thing that I'll show you how to do with Google Drive today, and that's going to be sharing files. So, you can send files in like an email as an attachment, but it's oftentimes easier to just send a link to a file because then you can text it to somebody. You could send really big files just using a link that might not fit as an email attachment. And this is just a great way to share files with friends or family members. So after you've uploaded a file to your Google Drive, in order to share a file by sending a link to somebody, first thing you do is, again, find the file in your Google Drive and right-click on it. And from that same menu, this time, we're going to select the share option. So again, let's just right-click on it and select the share option. And once you click on that, you'll see a new window pop up. Towards the bottom of that window, you'll see a word that says restricted. In order to allow whoever it is you want to send this file to access it, you'll have to click on the word restricted and change it to say anyone with the link. And after you click on anyone with the link, you'll see it turn green like this. And you're all set to click on the copy link button at the bottom of that little window that pops up. And once you've copied the link, you can paste it into a message to somebody, and they'll be able to click on that, on the link that you sent them, and they'll see the exact same file that you have saved in your Google Drive. So to walk you through how to do that, again, in order to share this file that I have right here, I'll want to right click on it. And from this menu, we're going to click on the share option. And after you click on that, you see this window that pops up. In order to allow anyone to open it with the link, we'll click on this word that says restricted and change it to say, instead of restricted, we want it to say anyone with the link. So click on that and we'll see anyone with the link can view this file. And then we're good to click on the copy link button. So now I've copied that link and I could paste this into a message or an email to somebody. Just real quick, I'll show you how that might look. So I have this little email here. I want to send somebody a link to a file on my Google Drive. And when I'm ready to paste the link, I can right click in this and just select paste, and it shows up right here. So if I were to just send this email right now, I just sent it to myself so I can show you all. But if this was the person you wanted to send the email to, they would see an email that looks like this, and they could either click it down here if it was a Gmail that they were using, or they could click directly on this link. And this is the link that you created in order to share it. And as we see, it's the exact same file that I have here in my Google Drive. So that was just pasting the link in here, and now anyone who clicks on it will be able to see it just like this. If anyone has any questions about the process so far, you can use the Q&A feature of Zoom. And if you're all set with this, you can use the raise hand feature to let me know.
So John, since I do not see any questions and we're running a little ahead of schedule, I thought maybe we could point out another feature related to sharing. If you could go back to the share link screen one more time.
Sure.
So you'll notice that next to where it says anyone with the link can view, there is another drop-down menu that currently says viewer. And John, I don't know if you want to explain that or I can.
Yeah. So for just a PDF file, just choosing viewer is fine. But like I mentioned earlier, Google Drive has tools where you can create and edit documents. If this was, say, a Word document or a Google Doc, if you know what that is, and we can maybe touch on that in a moment, basically a document that people could edit, you could change this instead of saying viewer to say editor, and they would be able to make any changes they wanted to that, say, Word document. Or you could choose the option of commenter, and then they would be able to add little comments and annotations onto the document that you have. And then another thing in here, if you wanted to just say share the file with a specific person, instead of allowing anyone who finds the link to be able to open the file, you could also, if you knew what their email was and if they had a Gmail account, you could type it in right here into this first box right here, and then just share it with them directly.
Great, thank you for that explanation.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm still not seeing any questions, and we do have quite a bit of time. So maybe briefly we could just touch on the different kinds of files you're able to create within Google Drive. Like, for instance, your presentation that you've been giving
Yeah.
is one that you've created within Google Drive.
hmm Yeah, so Google has a couple of tools you can use. You might have noticed them when you clicked on the New button in the top left of your screen. When you click on that, you see the file upload option that we used a moment ago, but there's also this Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, and Google Forms. So these are documents that you're probably familiar with how they work, but Google has their own way of creating them right inside of your Google Drive. What Paul mentioned a second ago was Google Slides. That's similar to PowerPoint, if you're familiar with that, where you can create presentations and slideshows. That's what I've shown you right in here. This is what Google Slides interface looks like. So if you wanted to create a new slideshow, you could just click on this option right here, on the Google Slides option. And that would just create a new presentation right here. And you could, from this screen here, you know, you can add new slides. You could name the presentation. So you can name it like that. And if we go back to our Google Drive account, you see it's been put right here into my Google Drive. And now this is going to be, again, accessible from any device, just the way anything else in my Google Drive will be. Now, there were the other tools that you can use. Google Sheets is similar to Microsoft Excel, where you can create spreadsheets and tables like that. Google Docs is like Microsoft Word, so you can create text documents here and write up things. I could title it up here in the corner, just the same way you could with a Google Slides presentation. And you have most of the options that you're familiar with in Google or Microsoft Word, if you use that. So these are all available right here under the New button in your Google Docs. As you see again, appeared right here in my drive after I created it with the New option there.
All right. I do see a few questions now in our Q&A. The first one, I think, is related back to sharing files. Someone is wondering what happens when you type a person's name in
Oh, right, yeah.
to share it with them.
Yeah, so that will give them access. And again, you can choose whether they're just viewing the file or whether they're allowed to edit it. So for example, right here, my new presentation, say I wanted to share this with somebody. So I would go here into the sharing menu. And if I wanted to share it with a specific person, I wouldn't go down here and change this to anyone with the link. I would, from this top box right here, type in a name. For example, use another email address of mine. You could type in their email and it'll, if you typed in it correctly, it'll populate it right here. You could click on that and you see after I click on that, it gives me the option to change whether I want them to be a viewer, which will allow them just to see the document but not change anything. They could be a commenter, so they can add little annotations, but they won't be able to edit the contents directly, or an editor, which gives them full control over the file that you've shared with them. If I wanted my other email account to be an editor, I could choose whether I want this to send them a little email, and I can type a message. So I could say, telling them that I'm sharing a file with them. And once I've got all of this set up the way that I like it, I can just click on the send button, and that will send an email to them, and it will notify them in their Google Drive that they have access to a new file. So I can just click send right here. And now if I were to go to that other email address, or if you were to share it with somebody you wanted to send the file to, they would be able to see that file in this shared with me section of their drive. Or if you decided to notify them, it will send them a link in their email. So hope that answers your question of giving them access.
All right, another question we have that I don't think we'll have time to go over during this class. Someone's wondering if there is a way to have Google Drive show up in your Windows File Explorer. And the answer is yes, that is possible. Basically, you have to download the Google Drive app. And then once you do that, it'll kind of walk you through the process of adding it to your File Explorer. And you'll be able to view all of your Google Drive files within your File Explorer.
Yeah, just like Paul said, there's an app for it. You can just do a Google search for Google Drive for Windows, and you'll see this download Google Drive. You can click on here and download it and go through the process. And by the end of it, you will see a new drive in your File Explorer that has everything from your Google Drive right there, as if it was a local file. That's a really handy feature that is a little more complex, but once you figure it out, it's great to access all of your files easily.
Thank you, John. All right, the questions are coming in hot now. Another question we have is, can you do this all on a Mac?
Yeah, you can totally do this on a Mac. On either Safari, or if you wanted to use Google Chrome or any other browser, you would still just go to the URL drive.google.com that you can see up here. And you'll see the same website. It should look pretty much identical on a Mac. The only thing that'll be a little different is when you go to upload a file on a Mac rather than a Windows computer, instead of seeing this window, which is a Windows file chooser, you would see Mac's equivalent. But on Mac OS, it has the same options. The buttons just look a little different. So yeah, you can totally do everything I'm showing on a Mac as well.
And then a related question, can you do this all on a phone? And I believe the answer is similar.
Yeah. So on a phone, you can use the website, but it's easier to use Google's Google Drive app. So either on the iOS App Store or on the Google Play Store for an Android phone, you can just search Google Drive and download the app for that. And again, it'll ask you to sign in just the same way the website did. And after you've signed in, you'll see all of your same files and many of the same options in the Google Drive app. Again, because it's a phone and it's smaller, some of the buttons will be in different places or might be called something slightly different, but you can do all of the same basic tasks from the mobile apps that you can from the website.
Perfect, thank you. A question we've gotten from a couple of people is, does the recipient that you share the file with have to have a Gmail account?
I don't believe they do. As long as it's any email that's a valid email, it'll just send them an email that gives them a link to it. I don't know, Paul, do you remember if it makes you do it? Because I can't remember how Google handles that.
Yeah, so it's a little complex because they will only be able to do limited things if they are trying to access it from a non-Google account. They will be able to download a file that you share with them, but if it's a Google Doc or a Google Slide, like John showed us, they won't be able to use the functions like editing and commenting. They would have to open a Google account in order to do that.
Right. And to make a Google account, you don't need a Gmail account. You can use any other email. So if you have a Yahoo email or an iCloud email, you can use that email to create a Google account. It'll just ask you if you want to use a Gmail or a different email. You can choose a different email when you're creating the account and type in any email you'd like to use, or any of your emails that you'd like to use, like an existing email. So if you do have somebody who doesn't have a Gmail account, and you want them to be able to edit, let's say, a presentation or a Google Doc, they'll need to make a Google account, but they can keep using their existing email if they prefer.
All right. Another question, if you don't have a mouse, how do you right click? And I can
Oh,
take.
yeah,
Yep.
if you're using a like a laptop that has a trackpad, the way you can right click is by putting 2 fingers on the trackpad at the same time. And depending on how you set up, you can either just tap with 2 fingers, or you can like put 2 fingers on and then click with one of your fingers. And when you do it with 2 fingers instead of 1, that's the equivalent of doing a right click.
And I will just add to that, if you have an older laptop that might not have that functionality, it's possible that clicking on the right side of your trackpad will function as a right click. And it's also, you can also press down the control key on your keyboard and tap with 1 finger, and that should also function as a right click. So there are a few different ways you might be able to do it in addition to what John just said. And then one more question. Can you explain how to create folders, which is a great topic to cover?
Yeah. So to create a folder, similar to how we've created either uploading files or creating these new Google types of files, you'll go into this new button in the top left, and instead of selecting file upload or any of these, you'll select new folder at the very top. And you can click right here on new folder. It'll ask you to name it. And once you've typed in any name you want, you can click on create. And then that'll create the folder right where you are. And the same way you can open a file by double clicking on it, you can go into the folder by double clicking on it. And then you're in the folder. You could create new files or view anything that you might have already had in this folder. So that's how you create new folders in Google Drive. And if you wanted to move something into that folder, like let's say, for example, my new document and my new presentation, I wanted to move both of these into my new folder. So the way I can do that is by clicking on the little checkbox for the ones that I want to move. And then you could just click and drag. So I'm clicking on one of these and dragging it all the way into my new folder. Then I'll let go, and they've been put inside of the folder. Yeah, folders are useful if you have a bunch of files and you want to arrange them by different categories or just to keep them separate. Folders are how you can do that.